Angelica unleashes her incredible speed and lands a successful slash on the red dragon Geese, enraging him. In response, Geese, who had been holding back for the sake of his brother, unleashes his full power and matches Angelica's speed, striking her multiple times. Watching from the sidelines, Snape begins to boast about his brother Geese's extraordinary strength, recounting how Geese defeated him 18 years ago in a clean fight, leading to Snape's retirement. Snape declares that Geese is a prodigy, so confident in his brother's abilities that he has bet all his wealth on Geese winning the tournament. Geese, having overpowered Angelica, lifts her by her hair and flexes that a commoner could never defeat a prodigy. Despite the match being over, Geese attacks Angelica, angering Rick. Just as Geese is about to strike Angelica again, Rick intervenes by throwing a boot at him, causing him to miss. After the match, Rick and Geese have a tense confrontation. Geese attempts to attack Rick, but Rick refuses to fight him then and there, vowing instead to humiliate him in front of everyone in their upcoming fight the next day. Meanwhile, Brewston continues his dominant streak, winning his matches effortlessly with single blows. Kevin Your Wolf also keeps advancing in the tournament, deliberately taking small hits during his matches to keep the audience entertained, showcasing his control over the battles. Rick dedicates himself to intense training for his upcoming fight, focusing on both physical and mental preparation. After his training session, he returns to find Angelica sitting alone, looking quite sad. He gently advises her not to push herself too hard, reminding her that Brewston's magic heals external wounds but not internal ones. Angelica, feeling down, says that despite all of Rick's training, she still couldn't win. Rick reassures her, explaining that she hasn't yet reached her full potential, and promises to show her the results of continuous training if she keeps pushing herself. The next day, Rick faces Geese in their highly anticipated match. Geese, still cocky and overconfident, mocks Angelica in front of Rick, which only serves to fuel Rick's determination. As the match begins, Rick immediately lands a powerful punch on Geese, cutting off his taunting and sending him to the ground. Geese quickly gets up and attempts to counterattack, but Rick is ready and punches him again, demonstrating his superior skill and power. In response, Geese resorts to using his Dragon Force magic, which drains a significant amount of his mana. Observing Rick's fighting style, Brewston notes that Rick isn't just fighting for himself, he's intentionally demonstrating different phases of combat to Angelica as if showing her what she could achieve with dedicated training. To Snape and Geese, however, it appears that Geese has the upper hand and is on the path to an easy victory. Geese then employs his steel body and stalwart fist techniques, charging at Rick with full force, but Rick effortlessly counters, landing a decisive blow that knocks Geese down again, much to Snape's shock. However, Rick's party members are not surprised at all. They know Rick's true strength and discipline. As Geese struggles to rise, Rick delivers a harsh truth that while Geese may be a prodigy, he wastes his talent by letting his ego dominate, neglecting the hard work and training that could have made him even stronger. Rick points out that, unlike Geese, his other party members have continuously trained and honed their skills to become the best versions of themselves. This confrontation serves as both a lesson to Geese and a demonstration to Angelica of what true dedication and hard work can achieve. As the fight progresses, Rick continues to taunt Geese, telling him that the world is much larger than his narrow perspective, which he compares to a tiny lizard's head. This remark infuriates Geese, pushing him over the edge. In his anger, Geese undergoes a terrifying transformation, fully embracing his draconic heritage and becoming an actual dragon. Snape, watching from the sidelines, explains that Geese has tapped into their ancient bloodline, triggering this powerful transformation. Despite the monstrous change, Rick remains calm and focused. Using this as a teaching moment for Angelica, Rick demonstrates how she would have fought after 9 months of intense training, methodically overpowering Geese at each stage. He continues to effortlessly evade and counter Geese's attacks, showing Angelica the importance of patience, strategy, and persistence. Finally, after showcasing what a full year of training would look like, Rick lands a decisive blow, slashing through Geese with the precision and skill that Angelica could achieve with dedication. The attack not only knocks Geese unconscious but also marks Rick's victory in the fight, solidifying his superiority. Angelica, watching in awe, feels a surge of happiness and inspiration. She realizes that Rick fought this entire battle not just to defeat Geese, but to show her the true potential she can unlock through hard work and consistent training. This experience leaves her deeply motivated, understanding now that she can become as strong as Rick with her continued efforts. Rick defeats Geese, and Snape apologizes to Angelica before leaving, expressing his surprise but also disappointment that she can't be his wife. Kelvin Your Wolf speaks to his master before the fight, who advises him to give it his all since he's the strongest fighter. Kelvin is shocked to find that Brewston has no openings for an attack. Even while standing still, Kelvin begins landing consecutive punches, but Brewston remains unfazed. Suddenly, Geese resurrects, furious, and starts attacking people. Kelvin, annoyed by the interruption, exclaims how dare Geese disrupt his match. Geese attacks Kelvin, but Kelvin easily defeats him and knocks him out with a single blow. Rick and everyone else is stunned by how effortlessly Kelvin handles Geese, whose power is equal to an upper A rank. The match is then postponed until the next day. While everyone is eating, Rick Rick goes for a 700 kilometers jog and encounters Kelvin on the way. Kelvin starts training with Rick, and Rick attacks him with lightning speed, but Kelvin still manages to defend, surprising Rick with his hidden strength. Kelvin is equally surprised by Rick's speed. Afterward, Kelvin returns to his training. Kelvin recalls overhearing his master discussing with the tournament administration that Kelvin wins so easily that the tournament has become boring. To make the fights more entertaining and attract more viewers, Kelvin decided to fake his fights. Rick says he gets it, but doesn't fully grasp the idea. He then reminds Kelvin about facing Brodston tomorrow. When Kelvin and Brodston finally face off, Kelvin tries to land his Roll Fang attack but can't hit Brodston at all. Brodston strikes him once, sending him away, and tells Kelvin to stop faking and fight at his full potential. Unlike yesterday, Kelvin hesitates, worried about his master's expectations and the audience's reaction. Brodston then offers to fight using only 2 fingers and without moving, giving Kelvin a fair chance. Kelvin attacks again with Roll Fang, but Brodston catches his fist between 2 fingers. Kelvin is torn, wanting to fight at his full strength but still hesitating. His master notices and calls him a fool for holding back, urging him to fight at his full potential. This finally motivates Kelvin to unleash his true power. He hits Brodston with punches, but Brodston uses 5 fingers this time and throws him away, but Kelvin makes his body steel. Brodston is impressed, and Kelvin then uses 5th nature magic, which makes everyone surprised since Kelvin's kind can't use magic. Rick says that Kelvin is like his other party members who have trained to the point that they can do what's impossible for them. Kelvin then unleashes his 8th tier magic, the Angel's Tier. Rick becomes worried, knowing Brodston will stop holding back because Kelvin is now too strong. Brodston dispels the powerful magic with just his fist using brute force and then gives Kelvin a quarter thumbs up. Rick explains that orcs use a quarter thumbs up when they intend to fight without dodging or defending. Brodston finally goes on the offensive, launching Kelvin away with the wind from his punch. Rick, no longer surprised, accepts Kelvin's fate as Angelica watches. Kelvin keeps using magic against Brodston, but Brodston remains unaffected. Brodston then punches Kelvin, sending him flying. The audience cheers for Kelvin as he attacks Brodston. Motivated, Kelvin throws his best punch, giving it everything he's got, but it still leaves Brodston unscathed. Finally, Brodston ends the fight with a powerful punch to Kelvin's face, knocking him down. Kelvin's master acknowledges his fighting spirit and tells him there's still a long way to go to become the best fighter in the world.